Phase 7, crafting. If inventory management was complex, crafting was intricate. Still a lot of moving parts, probably more moving parts actually, but built off of the resource consumption and inventory systems that were made in the previous videos. I wanted to make sure that when you consume the resource, you then learned what it did in addition to having the effect actually, be placed on the player. So you learn what the resource does, and then, and only then, it can be sent to a crafting slot. Once again, you don't know what 2 items craft into until you do it. So it was a matter now of combining 2 resources together. Now, because everything is named, again, randomly, there are no consistent names from one playthrough to the next. I then needed to have these 2 combine and constantly check forward, backward, and backward, forward. So, top of my head, these are not real things, but if it was banana and orange being crafted, it would check for both banana orange and orange banana to make sure that it was always capturing the right output, which then meant for the first time in Unity, I was using dictionaries, which brought me back to my Python time. While doing that, I then needed to make a new set of randomized names. I needed randomized combined resource names. So the resources are combined, the resources are randomized, but what they combined to then became a new randomized thing. I didn't just want, using that other example, banana orange as a resource name. I wanted a new one, a new randomized one. So then that brought to my first actual real attempt at refactoring code for the first time to really make sure that how resources are referenced now doesn't get lost. There's a lot of moving parts. Like I said, there's a lot of connecting between picking up a resource, putting it in your inventory, crafting it, possibly removing it from your inventory, both when you craft it and when you consume it. So making sure that all of those things are captured and referenced properly meant I needed to redo how I was referencing each item. So that brought out a new bug, and actually an interesting bug that I can say I probably should have caught from the beginning, but didn't think about it. When I was looping through using a for loop to check or to create the names, it would go through and say, okay, for every slot, make sure we have a name. But I didn't want duplicate names. So if there was a duplicate name, it wouldn't make it, but it would skip the slot, which came to cause errors, obviously, because now I had empty named resources in a few places. So the solution there was to change it to a while loop and make sure that while I was fewer than the amount of slots I have, keep finding names. When you find enough names, skipping duplicates, we're good. And that was a nice change that actually helped in a lot of different areas. So I carried that throughout. And then the final piece was I added randomization for success in crafting, just to honestly, to give another positive effect, outcome, reward, whatever you want to call it, perk, to some of these items was that you could increase your success in crafting, meaning that the negative side of that was to decrease it. So I had to add in the randomization for success, where if you're over a certain threshold, it works. If you're below a certain threshold, it doesn't work, and you can improve or decrease those chances. And that was all crafting, and crafting was all of phase 7.